Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Go check out my website at skyazrael.com for life coaching and mentoring. Let's talk about our friends' circles. You should have two circles of friends, your inner circle and your outer circle. You can call them your confidants and your connections. There's a lot of different ways you can look at it. Your confidants are your tight homies. The people that you can be yourself around, where you're not holding back. There's no filter, there's no airs that you're putting on, there's no persona that you're slipping into. You're just raw, uncut version of yourself. It might be some members in your family, might not. Might be some real close friends that you've known forever, it might not, but you know who your confidants are. People usually only have one or two confidants. If you have a big circle, you got 10 confidants, then you're lying to yourself. You're living in a goddamn fantasy world and you're setting yourself up for being betrayed, backstabbed. Motherfuckers who have large circles of confidants are always these drama motherfuckers, talking about this and that and about how everybody's out to get them, talking all kinds of shit about some motherfucker that they used to be down with, and it's always weird. It's like, well, how did you get so down with this motherfucker to begin with? You fall in love too quick is what your problem is. You might need to be a little bit more selective. A little more skeptical on a motherfucker. It's hard to get into my inner circle. Hard. You have to fight your way in. You don't walk into my inner circle easily. You don't get to be a part of the confidant crew easily. You have to prove yourself. And not just to me. You have to prove yourself to my brother too. You're damn right. Your connections are basically everybody else. You should have lots of connections, thousands of connections. You get yourself one or two good confidants and thousands of connections. I got connections all over the world, literally, on many of the continents. I got connections in Australia. They're begging for me to come stay with them in Australia. I got connections in South Africa, Malaysia, all through Europe, from Canada to Mexico. I got connections all over the planet. But I got maybe two confidants. I think that some people have a poor filter. They're not very good at investigation. I think maybe that loneliness drives this. Some people, they really want their go-to. They want to ride or die. They hear about other people having these connections with people, this close bond with others, and you want that. And you let people in real quick. A motherfucker checks a box or two and you let him in. It's funny for me because with dudes, with men, I'll put you through the ringer. There's nothing you could say to sweet talk me into my fucking confidant crew. Nothing. I don't care how fucking slick you fucking think you are. I don't care what you fucking been through. We're putting you through the initiation. We are going to investigate you, motherfucker. You're not going to get in easily. I don't care who the fuck you think you are. Women, I do almost no investigation. You bat an eyelash at me and I'm like, okay, come on in. And this is where I've gotten burned over and over and over again, letting the wrong women into my little confidant clique. I don't know why I turn into a simp, a sucker with women. And I can be a boss with the dudes. It's probably some inner child. Psychiatrists would have a field day with this. Something about me looking for attention or neediness and nurturing from my mother. You know, it's some kind of Freudian shit. I'm sure that's what it is, right? I met this woman a couple months ago. She's an insurance agent. Real pretty chick. Lives not too far from here, 20 miles inland. Real pretty. Friend of a friend of a friend kind of thing. Someone on Facebook was like, yo, I have a friend, and why don't you meet her? I didn't think about who it was that was turning me on to this person. It was actually one or two people removed from them. It matters who introduces you. If somebody says, I got someone to introduce you to, whether it's a friend or a business contact or whatever, you want to think about, is this person that's referring me worth a shit? Are their referrals worth listening to, or should I just be like, yeah, okay, whatever? I do that in business. Oh, I'm real good. I know about different motorcycle shops, and if somebody in my industry, in the motorcycle industry, says to me, if a parts guy up at JP Cycles starts telling me about some shop that I should work with, there's a good chance I already know that shop, and I don't usually take fucking advice from guys who have hourly wage bullshit jobs at JP Cycles who are just phone jockeys. I'm not trying to dog JP Cycles, but you ain't a biker, motherfucker. You just work at a fucking telemarketing fucking business that sells motorcycle shit. And I'm not in the business of fucking taking advice from idiots. And I can recognize right away. Now, if it's somebody that I feel like I really respect, an owner of another shop, a fabricator that I really like, you know, somebody that I respect, and they say, yo, I got a homeboy who you need to meet who's really good at paint, or I've been looking for a paint guy recently, then I might take that real serious and be like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm really into that referral. I'll be excited on it. But when it comes to love, I don't use that same type of discernment, that same type of selective process, that same type of wisdom, I should say. And I get burned easy. So I went on a date with this insurance agent chick. Nice enough woman. Tried to ask her the 20 questions, you know, what do you do? Why are you single? Those types of bullshit questions that older people like me have to know when we go out with somebody. When you get my age and you're going on a date, it's like going into a fucking gunfight. People are skeptical as shit. And we seemed like we got along. After the date was over, I was driving back home, and I drove a little inland to make it a little easier for her to meet. And I started to wonder, did I really ask the right questions? Do I know this chick? Or am I just excited on those big old titties? Am I just lonely? Well, I put that out of my head. She texted me all night. Halfway through the night, with our back and forth texting, I started to notice a strange pattern, a strange line of questioning, I should say, where she was really focused on what I make per year, the size of my motorcycle shop. She asked the weirdest question. She wanted to see the outside of the shop. I showed her pictures of the inside of the motorcycle shop, and she says, no, please take a picture of the outside of the shop. Who the fuck wants to see a picture of the outside of a warehouse? I don't get it. Bottom line, long story short with her, turns out she's a gold-digging whore. And I don't use that, I'm not just saying that to be mean. She's looking for a fucking paycheck. I found out her whole little scenario. She's about to be kicked out of her house because her landlord is suing her, and her daughter are about to go homeless, and she's looking for a step up, a leg up on a motherfucker, and I'm not the guy. It just told me, though, that I need to be more careful in my questioning. I need to think less about the titties and more about the mind, body, and soul. I would do this in business. I would do this with you if you were trying to hang out with me and my brother. Who the fuck are you? What makes you fucking so worth hanging out with someone like us? What makes you think you can even be around people like us? Oh, you think we're stuck up? Why don't you just fucking bounce then, bitch? Fuck out of here. I need to use a little bit more of that when I meet some of these women. Not to push them away, but to push away the wrong ones, the gold diggers. Bottom line is that when you're letting people into your confidant circle, your inner circle of friends, you want those motherfuckers to be the real deal. Absolutely 100% real. Because that's your team, that's your survival team, that's your support group. Those are the people that you're letting down the walls in front of. You don't want to be burned by them. Stop getting burned by people. My connections can never burn me. They never can. There's nothing any connection can do to fuck with me, to fuck up my game, to interfere in my life in any way, shape, or form, because they're too far away. It's all just food for thought. Thanks for watching.